There's always a higher authority. There are loads and loads of deities. If you have any doubt about that, go to India. I've never seen so many higher forms. There are many pinholes into the divine. And the fact that your father is not around doesn't mean you can't imagine what he would say and what he would tell you and the example that he would set. And, you know, there are all kinds of people on television and around the world to use as role models. Some of us didn't have good fathers. I'm one of them. And he, number one, was gone by the age of 5, but even the first 5 years, he was a bad example of what an adult should be like. But, you know, that doesn't mean that you can't make yourself a better person. And, you know, if you're dwelling upon what you lost at a young age, you're headed in the wrong direction. You know, the reason the windshield is bigger than the rear view mirror is because you're supposed to look where you're going, not where you've been. And, you know, danger comes up from behind. Usually that's somebody else. And that you have to, instead of freezing in your mind, you know, your mind doesn't freeze by itself. It's an activity. You know, whenever we turn things into events or act as if they're out of control, then they become out of our control. We need to build a belief that says you can take control of your mind, you can take control of your feelings, that you can become more highly motivated. And if nothing else, imagine the perfect father and imagine what he would tell you and what he would do and build your own role model. That's what I did, and it worked very well for me. You know, nobody in my family really had gone to any higher education other than a BA, and that was to become a school teacher. And there's nothing wrong with being a school teacher, but in those days, back in the 50s, you know, elementary school teachers were not highly educated. You know, they weren't taught science. They weren't taught all the things that I became interested in. But one thing they had was the belief that people could learn, because in those days, teachers weren't teaching belief systems. They were teaching you to think. And unfortunately, a lot of that has been lost. Now we're teaching people ideologies in school instead of methodologies. And methodology is what gets you. What you learned from me when you went to that seminar was a methodology to aim your imagination so that you could aim your life. And I would say, get to it. And if it starts to freeze up, put a little heat on it and start to look out that front view mirror and take the rear view mirror, shrink it back down, stop worrying about the past, and start being excited about the future.